Hello, y'all. I've been sitting up here trying to do something and got distracted. I'm sorry, y'all. Welcome to my podcast and my YouTube channel. This channel is all about from darkness to light, recovery life coaching, and also on my podcast, it's the same thing. I am your host. Y'all know who I am by now. I appreciate y'all for joining me for this episode. If you guys like the commentary on YouTube, hit the like, subscribe, and notification button so you can receive notifications on my videos. If you guys like the commentary on my podcast, please go to Spreaker.com/, from darkness to light, recovery life coaching radio podcast, and you guys can see that podcast. It's also on Spotify, Google. It's also on iHeartRadio, Amazon, Google. It's also on Spot and multiple other podcasts as well. I am a certified recovery life coach, all about helping people on their paths, their journeys, and their purpose to a new and better you through self-discovery. Now, I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope everything is good for you guys. This particular podcast is going to go very, very deep. And this one is probably going to make a lot of people probably cry. It's probably going to really touch a lot of people's spirit. And it's really going to make people really uncomfortable. And the reason I say that is because this particular episode is personal to me because it's something that I'm currently going through. So I wanted to discuss it because I felt like it's something that needs to be discussed, especially considering me as a life coach and especially a recovery life coach. I wanted to talk about my own recovery and what I'm dealing with in this particular topic because I feel like this particular topic is something that we absolutely need to talk about. And even though a lot of people don't really want to talk about it, and they don't really want to really, get into it, I feel like it's something that we really do need to have a conversation about. Give me just 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to brief hold. Hold on. I just want to pause something right quick. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. But anyway, before I get started on this particular topic, there's a song I want you guys to hear before I get started. And this song is going to kind of bring in what this topic is about and how I'm currently feeling right now because I am actually at this place right now. And this is kind of where I'm at, but it's not because I'm looking for something more as far as money or relationships or looking for something more as far as in the way that most people think. I am more so looking for something more when it comes to my health and wellness. I am more so looking for time. I'm more so about having more time. I'm more so on appreciating time, not taking time for granted. I'm realizing all of the things that are now at a halt because of my medical condition and how my medical condition has really got me at a standstill and how it's really impacting me and how serious that it is. And this is not something to play around with or something to not take seriously. So I want to play this song and then I'm going to go in detail on how this song affected me today and what made me talk about this particular subject. So I'm going to share my screen, let y'all hear the song, and then we're going to go into the actual commentary. So bear with me just 1 second. I'm going to take myself out and then I'm going to come back in with my commentary. I'll be right back. I hope you feel just how I feel. Just say you will. Just come my way when
when you got some time to kill. When I don't have a line, could you read my mind? Could you hear me talking to you, baby, from the inside? Baby, tell me how deep are you willing to dive? Say it with your body, baby, you don't gotta tell me twice. Sometimes I don't wanna think, sometimes I don't wanna call. Sometimes I just wanna stay inside, I don't need nothing more. Sometimes I just wanna drink, feels right but I know it's wrong. Sometimes I just wanna see my baby pull up at my door. Need your love, wanna feel something more. Would you stay, would you leave? Would you go? I'll follow you. Girl, would you take me with ya? Could you take me like a picture? Pull me in like magnetism. Up against you on that fiction. Could you losing all your diction? Got you speechless when I don't have the lines. Could you read my mind? Could you hear me talking to you, baby, from the inside? Baby, tell me how deep are you willing to dive? Say it with your body, baby, you don't gotta tell me twice. Sometimes I don't wanna think, sometimes I don't wanna call. Sometimes I just wanna stay inside, I don't need nothing more. Sometimes I just wanna drink, feels right but I know it's wrong. Sometimes I just wanna see my baby pull up at my door. Need your love, wanna feel something more. Would you stay, would you leave? Would you go?
Before we get started, let me give a round of applause for that song, please. All right, let's talk about something more. Now, for some of y'all, when you think about something more, you think about going to the store and buying something that you really don't need. You're going and buying a new outfit. You're going to buy some new furniture. You're going to buy something that really isn't all that important, but yet and still, you're buying it anyway. Some of y'all think something more means you don't like the life that you're in when it comes to your relationship and you decide to commit infidelity. Or it can be you want something more because you don't like where you live at currently and you feel like there's something else out there. Or if you decide to live and move to another state and you decide to go somewhere else and you decide to do something else and decide to be in another environment, that can also be something more. And I'm gonna do a video and a podcast about something more on another podcast, and I'm also gonna do it in this one as well. But what I'm currently dealing with right now is a lot of different things medically. In January of 2018, apparently I forgot about this. Apparently I had hit the back of my neck because I had came and took my mother grocery shopping, and I hit the back of my neck, and instead of me staying there and just sitting still and waiting, I got in the car and drove. And I ended up having a panic attack. I didn't even realize that this came from me hitting the back of my neck, but apparently I did. And I must have caused more damage because I hit my neck 2 or 3 other times after that. So now when I get in the car and drive, I have panic attacks because of my neck. Because, well, it's not just my neck, but also my back. So when I'm driving, it's as if, I'm having tunnel vision as well, which doesn't help. So when I'm driving, even though mentally and psychologically I'm fine, for some reason my neck, when I turn my neck a certain way, it hurts because now it's hurting now again. It stopped hurting for a little while and then it started back hurting again. So now It's a question of whether or not that I'm gonna have to have surgery, because it's to the point now it's affecting my swallowing, it's affecting my breathing, it's affecting my hearing, it's affecting everything. So try going from someone that had a very carefree life, someone that put everybody else before themselves, that always did for everybody else, and was always told that my feelings didn't matter. Try being someone that has tried very hard to be a part of society standards, and tried to have friends, and tried to have the American dream, and tried to have all of these things, and it just didn't happen that way. I've come to the realization based upon my isolation, because this particular topic is all about from darkness to light when it comes to sitting still. See, sometimes you are someone that's always on the move, always on the go, always wanting to do something, always wanting to be involved in something, always want to be in other people's business and worrying about everybody else and what they got going on, but you ain't worried about yourself. And on social media, I've noticed it, especially there when it comes to social media. A lot of people are in other people's business, worrying about what everybody else got going on, what everybody else is doing, and how everybody else seems to be. And I remember when I went after the sex code, I remember that at the time I was sick, but nobody up there knew how sick I was, or that I was dealing with chronic pain and all of these different things, and not having really any answers. So the one thing I've learned in this situation with my neck in particular, because I've always had pain, but it's different now because it's my neck. Like right now, my head is like laid back, because if I hold my neck for a long period of time, it hurts. So it depends on where I'm sitting. But the one thing I appreciate more now that I didn't back then is my health and wellness. And I'm not saying I didn't appreciate it, because I did. I used to be 110 pounds. I used to be very small before I had my son, and then I had thyroid issues, fibroid issues. I have now some type of something in my stomach, where there's like damage to my stomach, and so now it's like I gotta basically, can't eat certain things. Like when I get sick, I eat a lot of sweets, but since I haven't been sick, I haven't been wanting as many sweets. Um, I have really went away from when I went home to visit my family for Christmas. I went away from everything that I was doing when I was here. And instead of me sticking to that, I ended up eating things that I probably would never eat. And now I got to newly program myself back to that routine. So starting tomorrow, I'm going back to that routine that I was doing before I left here, as far as going out of town, because I'm trying to lose 40 pounds, and that's kind of my goal. And I know a lot of this is weight. And right now I have swollen feet. My feet are swollen. So I'm really trying to figure out how to go about dealing with my health issue, considering I don't know what the cause of it is. But I do know I have scoliosis without question, which is part of the reason that I have this arch in my back, which makes me look bigger than what I am. I am considering getting a breast reduction, so I'm going to see if my insurance will pay for it. And I'm seriously thinking about getting a breast reduction next year. So that way I can finally get it done and get a breast reduction, because I want to reduce my breasts. They're just too big. I also am considering, I've been trying different things as far as diets and things like that. I have been staying away from a lot of stuff, but what I'm trying to do is make all in one dishes, and trying to get myself in that place. So you're probably wondering, what does all of this have to do with sitting still? Because when you sit still, you got to sit in your mess. You have to sit in your chaos. You got to sit in your destruction. You have to sit in everything in your past that you went through, and you have to sit in it. Unfortunately, you have to sit in it. And for me, it's not being able to drive. So because I can't drive right now, I have to sit still. It sucks. I can't go to the mall. I can't go out to eat. I can't do nothing. I got to sit still. And so today, when I heard that song, it just made me want to cry because I'm just like, sometimes I just want to get in the car and drive. Sometimes I just want to get up and go. I'm sitting in four walls, can't go nowhere. So sometimes God will sit you still to where you can't move. And I'm talking about medically. Sometimes medically will make you sit still more so than anything else. It will make you sit still. And when it does make you sit still, you ain't got no choice but to sit there and take it. You ain't got no choice. So everybody talks about mental health and nobody talks about internal health, aka when your lungs, your kidneys, and all these things are going wrong. Honey, I'm here to tell you that it ain't no joke when it comes down to having a newfound appreciation of your health. And I have a whole newfound appreciation of my health. And don't get me wrong, I've always appreciated my health. But see, at least a few years ago in 2015, I was still able to dance. But then it got to the point where one day I was trying to dance and I was having dizzy spells. So I knew that something was wrong. So it just went from bad to worse. And I know that when I start working out, it's going to hurt like it's going to hurt. I'm going to be in excruciating pain, but I have to do it because if I don't do it, then it's not going to get no better. So when you're sitting still, what that means is you're sitting still and you're working on yourself. So while you're alone and while you have nobody and it's just you, it's just you're in this dark place. And I'm not talking about a negative depression, anxiety type of, thing. It's more so of God is sitting you here and God is saying to you, you know what? I'm going to need you to sit here for a while. I don't need you to go out there in the world right now because the world has been tearing you to shreds. I am taking you out of the world because you don't need to be in the world right now. I need to prep you before I let you go back out there. I need you to heal. I need you to stop being damaged. I need you to stop doing all of the things you used to do. I need you to stop being Captain Save-A-Ho, a people pleaser, seat filler. I need you to stop being a, build a bear and a build a doll. I need you to stop wanting to be loved, liked, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed to be a part of something so bad to the point you are destroying yourself. And a lot of you don't understand that these words I'm getting ready to say, yes, they are positive, but they are negative because of what you're willing to do for them and the damage that you're willing to do for yourself as well as the people around you. Not only that, you are allowing people to lower your standards, lower your self esteem, self worth, and self values. You're allowing people to do and treat you any kind of way, like it's okay for them to do it. And you're letting people sit up here and hurt you, and you're allowing it, and you just continue to allow it. You think it's your responsibility to take care of a grown person when they got two parents that should be taking care of them. Now, professionally is different, but I'm talking about personally. Personally, you're allowing people to put you in jail, and now you're spending the rest of your life in jail for something that probably would have never happened if you'd have never met that person. The person that's putting their hands on you and abusing you in every single way, shape, form, or fashion, from verbally, physically, emotionally, sexually, spiritually, they're hitting you financially, and you're lowering yourself for people that's not even worth you. Now, being loved, liked, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed to be a part of something, to be validated, to be approved of, to be accepted, for somebody to know your worth, to prove something to somebody, to be a people pleaser, seat filler, Captain Save-A-Ho, build a bear, and build a doll. Okay, cool. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be any of those things. And if you're a people pleaser and you're all about making other people happy, what about yourself? What about your happiness? God never said put your happiness second. God never said that you got to go through all these hoops and bounds to be around people. And anybody who's like that, in all honesty, is a unbeliever. And I'm just being real with it. But those 16 things that I said are the main causes of your addiction. Because what you're willing to do for these things is the problem. It's not that being loved is a bad thing, it's not. But what you're willing to do for it negatively is the addiction. And that addiction is what causes all your other addictions. So just like drugs and alcohol, how did you end up becoming an alcoholic? Because you can't cope. It's a coping mechanism for something that somebody has done to you, whether it be something that your parents had, is hereditary, whether it be you trying to prove something and that's how you got hooked on drugs. It's the same thing when a woman has sex with a man. Most young girls don't want to have sex with a man, but a young boy, but yet they do because of peer pressure. Now, isn't that a form of addiction? Because what you're willing to do to be liked by somebody and loved by somebody, being validated by somebody, is what makes it an addiction. And that's where your other addictions come from. It comes from that. So when you're sitting up here and you're doing all of these things, you don't realize that even though it may not seem like you're not damaging yourself physically, you are damaging yourself physically, internally and externally. You're damaging yourself mentally and psychologically. You damage yourself financially. You're damaging yourself emotionally. So basically what you're doing is you're basically damaging yourself because you're going through all these loops and these hoops and bounds to get somebody to want to be in a relationship with you that just doesn't want to be there. You're trying to make somebody be with you that pretty much doesn't want you in the first place. You're sitting up here expecting people to treat you the way you treat them, and that's just not going to happen. So the reason why I say that recovery is not just drugs and alcohol, because it ain't. Because all of it stems around some type of something you didn't get from somebody. Whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a lover, whether it's an ex, it don't matter. Whether it's a job. The point is there is a person that has impacted you in some type of way. And because you can't cope with it, because you can't deal with it, now you're in a situation where you're now pretty much using drugs and alcohol to cope. It's just like when you lose a baby. You're going to do things to cope. Anything that is negative, you're going to use a coping mechanism to cope. If you go through a heartbreak, what are you going to do? You're probably going to take some pills. So all of this codependency comes from those 12 things that I just said. So when God says, you know what, let me pull you from the world, let me put you in isolation, you ain't going willingly because you can't understand why you here. Why am I by myself in four walls? Why am I just sitting here? I should be doing something. Sometimes it's not about always doing something. Sometimes you literally need to sit still. Sometimes you really do need to heal, because when you are in this healing stage, it's not about being on social media all day, every day, watching everybody else. It's really about healing. And I had to come to this realization today. Because I was like, am I really healing, or am I just still focused in the world because I'm on social media watching what's going on in social media? No, I'm not healing. I'm not healing at all, because I'm making it worse, because I'm prolonging the healing that God is trying to do to me, because I'm sitting here on social media worrying about everybody else. I'm sitting up here not trying, not doing my research on, say for example, I removed my gallbladder. How do I go about, and what am I supposed to eat that's gonna help my gallbladder? So I got a lot of healing to do. And so today everything hurts. My arms, everything hurt. So I'm kind of in pain. So, and that's because my neck hurt. So knowing this, I gotta start looking for answers. So the first thing I got to do is find out the things that are wrong, and then start getting on Google and figuring out, what can I do to heal the things that I know is wrong. And number one, changing my diet. So today I had some eggs, and I had some mushrooms and eggs, and that's it. And I scrambled them, and I might eat some soup. And then I thought about eating a salad. I said, you know what? I'll just wait till tomorrow, eat a salad. I might just make some soup because my throat hurt. But being that my throat is hurting, it's not my thyroid and it's not my lip noise. It's something else that's going on. It could be my ears are infected. It might be causing my throat. But the main thing is the back of my throat is what's causing both sides to hurt. So is it possible that I may have to have surgery? It's possible. Is it possible that I may have to take medication? Possibly. Is the medication going to make it better? No, it's just going to temporarily stop the pain, but it doesn't mean it's going to make it better. And then eventually my body's going to get immune to it, and it's either I'm going to get addicted to it or it's not going to work. So I need people to understand that when it comes down to these situations of sitting still, it doesn't mean that you're bored. It just means that right now you need to sit still. You need to rest. You need to get sleep. You need to, work on yourself. It means that you need to be one with God right now. If you want God to help you, then you need to be one with God. And that means you need to put God as a priority. That means tuning out the world and everything that's in it. So starting tomorrow, that's what I'm getting ready to do. I might do my morning videos just to let people know how I'm doing and what I'm doing. But I've been doing this sabbatical thing the wrong way, and I had to really come to that realization. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start my sabbatical tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is for the next few months, I'm gonna work out. I'm going to eat healthy, get lean meats. I'm not gonna use a lot of sugar. I'm not, but I still have to have sugar because you don't want your sugar to be low. So I probably will drink coffee, like caffeine free coffee. I'm trying to get rid of the inflammation because right now I think that's what it is. I'm inflamed. So I have a lot of inflammation. So I got to get rid of this inflammation. So I'm going to find some inflammation medicine to help. So I might put this on the happier you leads to a healthier you as well. But when it comes down to sitting still, it means exactly that. Sit your butt down somewhere. If you trust in God and you have faith in God while you sitting still, while you're in darkness, God is gonna make you see you're good around everybody around you as far as everything else. He's gonna make sure your bills are paid. He's gonna make sure you're good while you're sitting in darkness. A lot of y'all right now that are homeless, you're sitting up here panicking, like, oh my God, I lost my job. Oh my God, this is happening. Sit your behind still, because moving is not going to change it, especially if you got the same mind frame. If you have the same mind frame, you're going to still keep dealing with the same things you've been dealing with before, and it's not going to get no better. It's going to get worse. So the whole point of sitting still is to basically change your mind frame. So while you are changing your mind frame, it doesn't mean you don't still go to work. It still doesn't mean that you don't do the things you do. It just means you're not dealing with people personally. So in other words, you're not trying to attract nobody. You're not trying to date nobody. It's just you, yourself, God, and Jesus. That's it. Or whatever your spirituality is or religion is. That's it. So you're not running around here going to the club on the weekend. And you're certainly not running around here doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. You are just sitting at home reading a good book. You're sitting at home reading the Bible. You're sitting at home doing some writing. You're sitting at home, you're journaling. You're sitting at home, you might watch a good movie. You're sitting at home and you might just, wash clothes, get the clothes together. That might be about it. So you might go to work for 8 hours, come home. You might get you a good something to eat. You might decide to get ready for bed early and go to bed early. It may be you wake up, you get up, you do your work. You might work out before you go to work. You might, when you get off work, might decide to go for a walk. So now what you're doing is researching how to help yourself. And it's not based on anybody else, it's based on you. You're figuring out what is best for you. So when you go back and look at your past experiences, you're looking at how you dealt with it then and how you deal with it now. So when I deal with clients, I ask them, how do they deal with these situations when they were in it and how they look at it now? Because coulda, shoulda, woulda is now what you're going to actually apply now, and you're not going against that. It's also about your standards and what you stand for and what you believe in. Now that's going to be different. You're going to be looking at your standards different. So the way you go about things are going to be very different. So that's the whole reason why when you leave a situation, you take the time to be alone to heal. A lot of y'all will jump from one person to another person into another person. Y'all are so scared of darkness and not understanding that negativity all is supposed to make you better. Negativity is supposed to teach you something and supposed to make it so you don't repeat it again. But some of y'all don't want to do that, so you want to continue going through the nonsense. It makes no sense to me. So it's okay. It really is. But like I said, you can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. And it's just like saying that, for example, when you start looking at all your friends and all your family and you start looking at them and you're like looking at them like you're always the person that's always reliable. You're always the person that is always there. You're always the person that they can depend on no matter what. So no matter what they go through, you're always the person that they can depend on every chance they get, not understanding that you shouldn't always be the person that they can actually depend on. So the reason why this is important is because a lot of times we're bending over backwards for people that are not giving us the same in return. So a lot of times what happens is you'll know and your instincts tell you this is not the person that's for you. So let me also break it down another way. When you do prayers, God is not the only one that hears your prayers, mind you. The devil hears your prayers too. So sometimes God will send you somebody and they may not be perfect, meaning they may not look the best, but they'll treat you exactly the way that you want to be treated. But if you're someone that's more about the external as far as looks, then you're going to get what you ask. It's just going to be demonic. You're going to get somebody that is actually trifling and ain't good for you. But you rather have that person than the person that actually God sent you. A lot of y'all expect God to send you somebody that's just a drop dead gorgeous person, a person that got money. No, God is going to send you somebody that spiritually and mentally is what you need. But a lot of y'all don't understand that. And so you think God sent you this other person, and that's not who God sent you. God sent you somebody completely different. So I need people to understand that. So just because you want something don't mean God gonna send it to you. The devil might, but God is not going to. So what I want people to understand is when you sit still, you get to also see things around you. You also get to see things that you probably would have never paid attention to before, and now you see it different. So now when you're sitting still and sitting in silence and you go out, and let's say you go out and now you're driving and now you see things that you never thought you saw before, and you didn't see it, and you're like, oh my God, I never paid attention to that. That's because at the time you were rushing to get somewhere. You were rushing to go do something instead of sitting still. When you sit still, you get to basically sit there and just think about, where did I go wrong here? How did I end up in this situation in the first place? How did I end up here where I'm dealing with medical issues and I'm dealing with all of these different things? How did I get here? And that's something you got to ask yourself. How did you get here? So for me, it was 2 car accidents that started this. It went from 2 car accidents to slip and fall and they're hitting my neck. That's how I got here. It went from 2 hernias to a hysterectomy surgery to a gallbladder surgery. That's how I got here. I got here because instead of me focusing on taking care of myself, and being that I did not have medical insurance, that's one of the problems. So I didn't have medical insurance because I couldn't afford to go to the doctor, which is a part of everybody's pretty much reason when it comes to that. Because you can't afford to go to the doctor to get checked out because you didn't have insurance. And then in North Carolina, they got rid of Medicaid. So if you wasn't 65 years or older, or you didn't have a child over that was 17 or have a disability, you couldn't get Medicaid. So all these people that were out of work could not go to the doctor when they had COVID in North Carolina. So if you can't go and get your teeth done, yeah, and then you wonder why people's teeth are falling out. So at the end of the day, you don't know how not going to the doctor can impact you because of medical bills. It should not be that people can't go to the doctor and get checked. Then it used to be that all the different doctors were at the hospital. Now they're not. So now they're just like, look, we just gonna give you some pills that may or may not work for you, and the side effects are worse than the godforsaken medication they give you. So like I said, when it comes to sitting in darkness, this is when you realize that you're not getting any permanent solutions. And God is like, you've been sitting there doing all of these things. How does that work for you? It ain't worked that well. Okay, so you went after this dude knowing this dude didn't want you. Why didn't you just leave him right then and there? Well, I didn't leave him because I thought maybe if we got to know each other, thing would change. Sweetheart, when he said no, you should have left it at that. God is like, you have made your life more complicated than what it already is. You didn't have to make yourself that complicated. It didn't have to be that complicated. All you had to do was walk away from all these dudes that didn't want you in the first place. And you'd have been good. Because that's exactly what it is. We sit up here and we go after people that don't want us in the first place. We're dealing with family members that only come around when they want something. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's hard because when you have to look back at all these situations and you came to the realization that pretty much you should have never chased after that person in the first place. You should have just accepted the rejection and just said, you know what, it was nice meeting you and letting it be that. But no, we didn't do that. Not at all. We didn't do that. We ended up going and saying, you know what, we're just going to continue to chase this person even though this person don't want us. We're going to chase them anyway. We're going to go after them whether or not they want us or not. We're still going to go after them anyway. But then when you look at everything you've lost, that's what really going to piss you off because you're going to be like, well, God said, well, yeah, you went after this person, but look at everything you lost. Look at everything that you gave up. Look at all the money. Look at everything that this person did to you. Look at all the verbal and mental abuse that he did to you. Look at all the physical abuse that he did to you. Was it worth trying to hold on to this man? The answer is no. It ain't worth it at all. You're sitting up there trying to, get somebody to be your friend and trying to get your parents' approval. Man, nuh-uh. And that's the whole point of 18. 18 to 30, you're supposed to be figuring all this stuff out, but that ain't what they're telling you. They're telling you, oh, you need to go work. No, what you should be doing is enjoying your life. What you should be doing is traveling the world and doing what you want to do and then say, okay, now it's time for me to go back to work. Now it's time for me to go to bike week and go and travel the world and see everything that's out there. That's what you should do, but that ain't what happens, unfortunately. So all I'm saying to y'all is when you sit still and you sit in silence, it gives you a lot of time to process things. It gives you a lot of time to figure out things. And then once you figure it out, then you're going to say, okay, now I got to get over these habits that I have. All these things and all these doubts and all these insecurities and all of these things that's keeping me from doing what I need to do. Because for years, it was programmed in my brain that I ain't good enough, that I ain't worthy, and I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part of a spiritual sabbatical, when you got to deprogram yourself of habits that you got, not because of you, but because of things that people have said about you. That's like the hardest thing to do when it comes to these situations. It's not easy. I promise you it ain't. But when I tell you it's worth it when you start breaking yourself of these habits, it's just like social media. Like I said, put your phone down. It's amazing how people can't even put their own phones down long enough to have a conversation. People can't even put their phones down long enough to even watch a movie. They have to have their phones. It don't make no sense. Your phone is not going nowhere. So there's a lot of things in this situation that I've learned and I've had to come to terms with, but I'm coming to terms with it every single day. And like I said, it's not fun going through what I'm going through medically, but I know I got to heal. And I know I got to do the work. That means I got to take medication to try to heal my throat. It means drinking tea. It means, right now drinking warmer things for my neck. Like for example, cold hot compress. My massager that's over there, using the massager every day. With my feet, I need to start getting the going and using the foot massager. I'm about to start using that on my feet because I'm about to start doing that every day. Getting up and working out three times a week for like 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. So don't worry about the process. Just understand it's not going to be easy, but once you get started, it will make it better. So when you start doing these improvements, you're going to see improvements. And yeah, it's going to hurt. And yeah, you're going to be like, I just want to quit. But then you can't quit because your goal is to be healthy, longevity. That should be your goal. So there's nothing wrong with you saying, you know what? I'm gonna start changing this. I'm gonna start doing this differently. I'm gonna start doing that differently. So that when you'll start seeing the results and you'll be like, okay. So like now when you go to the store, you're not getting a whole bunch of processed foods. You're getting more vegetables. You're cooking more. You might go in there, you might get some frozen vegetables, you might get some canned vegetables, but the point is you're basically eating vegetables. Let's say you want lean meat once a week. You might want something lean. You might want stir fry. Nothing wrong with that. But you're making it yourself. Nowadays you're gonna have to cook, and that's just the way it is. That's why for me, I made some eggs. I might make some soup after I finish doing the dishes. If not, I might just I'm trying to think what I'm gonna do. I don't know. I want something warm, but I'm about to do the dishes in a minute. I just didn't want to do them while I was doing this podcast. But like I said, everybody's gonna have to sit still sometime. Everybody's gonna have to deal with some type of crucifixion or gonna be doing the story of Job. That's just the way it go. You're gonna be dealing with these situations no matter what. If you're a godly person, you're gonna have all type of people trying to lower you down and trying to take away your self-esteem, self-worth, and self-values. It's gonna happen. So like I said, it's okay that you may not get everything you want. It's okay if these people don't want you. That means they're not meant for you. So just because you want them does not mean that they want you. What matters is that you're doing what's best for yourself and you're doing what's making you happy. So even though everybody else may not agree with the things you're trying to do, the point is you're happy within yourself. The point is you're doing what is best for you. So like I said, I wouldn't worry about any of this other stuff. It don't even matter. And it's amazing how people don't understand what you're dealing with and what you have to go through. And it's okay that they don't. But like I said, at the end of the day, people are not going to do for you what you do for them. Relationships are never going to be 50-50 because everybody wants what they want. And some people will use people to get what they want. So like I said, a lot of the addictions stem from that love, like, appreciated, valued, wanted, needed to be a part of something, to be validated, those type of things. So yeah, that's definitely true. But at the end of the day, like I said, you know, people think they know you and they think they know how you are. There are people out here that are godly people that believe in helping people and believe in doing right by people. And you have people out here that's demonic, that's using people. But they're making it male against female when that's not really the easy. That's not even the issue. It's believer versus non-believer. So all I'm saying to y'all to end this podcast is stop worrying about what everybody else got going on and focus on yourself. And that's all that should matter. At the end of the day, we all are gonna have to sit still. We all gonna have to heal. We're also gonna have to recover, and we're gonna have to deal with past experiences. And when we deal with that, then life will be a whole lot easier. But until then, we will continue to go through drama that we shouldn't be going through until we take the time to just sit still. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for joining me for this episode. Y'all know who I am. I appreciate y'all. Without y'all, there is no me. I'll be nothing without y'all. So I'm going to end this podcast. But if you guys want one-on-one coaching, or you want to send me letters about things you're going through, you want advice, or there's a particular topic you want me to talk about, then you can reach me at asha.mariama01@gmail.com. That's asha.mariama01@gmail.com. I appreciate y'all because y'all have been there for me through all of this. You guys have seen my journey, and I will let you guys know through these podcasts how I'm dealing with it. And I've been doing other stuff to, just journaling my situation. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all because next week is going to be all writing. The next weekend is going to be doing everything. All my podcasts will be done that day. And I will be doing some writing because I have a book that I have to finish. So that's the goal, and that's what I'm trying to do. So with that being said, I think that's it for me. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button on YouTube to receive notifications of my videos. And for the both of y'all, I will see y'all next time. Bye.